Good morning. It is Tuesday. We are off to work again. And time to recap last night's game, which did end up going ahead in spite of my head cold. It was very interesting. The group decided to approach the newly arrived Golden City. They decided to do so through the Dreaming rather than heading to Epcot and approaching it that way. They got as far as the front gates, had a conversation with the guards. Jack, who's played by Doc, who actually had an invitation to enter, showed his invitation and began to go inside. The rest of the group was kept outside until our resident guest decided to magically pickpocket Jack's invitation from him, which promptly vanished, leaving only the ribbon that tied it behind. At which point, they didn't have an invitation on the outside, and he no longer had an invitation on the inside. When he asked about it, because he noticed it had disappeared, he was informed that he would have to present his invitation inside as well, and that if he did not have an invitation, he would have to leave. So he was then again escorted out, which did not go over very well. The group did a lot of bickering and arguing in front of the guards, which did not put them in very good stead. There was a bit of a showdown between Jack and one of the guards, who basically said that a real warrior wouldn't have lost something that was supposedly important to him. Which, in retrospect, probably helped lead towards what happened later. But eventually, a representative of the castle came out, met with them, at which point Taylor's character, the noble, realized who they were dealing with, a house called the Good Hand, who are seers and prophets, and who have a sworn oath and grudge against the Thalain, the Shadow Court, which, of course, our resident guest was a member of. So, possibly problematic there. With all of the arguing and bickering, and then with that realization, our guest was sent away. That would have been Seeger's character, and he was basically told, get out of here, we'll let you know what's going on in a bit. At which point, Taylor's character, our noble, or she, made his intentions clear that he was here to pay loyalty to the prince, not fealty. They had a lot of discussion about the wording of that, and he wanted to give loyalty but not fealty. They permitted him into the castle along with his 2 remaining guards. At which point, the 2 of them continued bickering and arguing, soliciting a few snide comments from the majordomo, which eventually elicited Taylor's character, our noble, our she, to order them both to leave. Which Doc's character, our ogre, resisted, of course, because he would. Colin's character Madman's character Colin ran for it. He got out of there quick. Because he had really pissed Doc's character off at this point. And Doc's character had already been really pissed off before he started. So he ran for it. Doc's character held off a couple more minutes, kind of a show of defiance, but then turned and left as well. In his rage at having his invitation taken, being insulted by the guards, being made a fool of by Colin and others, and then being sent away by his lord, basically for being an idiot. He took out all of his rage on all of that by catching up to Seeger's character, our guest, and killing him, beating him to a pulp, and eating him. So not exactly the turn that I had expected the game to take, but not one that was completely out of the realm of normal for this group of players. Taylor's character, our she, finally made it into the throne room, where he did swear loyalty to the new prince of this, or to the prince of this city. He was basically told if he offered his loyalty and his assistance, he would be able to keep his small hold, referring to Cinderella's castle and that entire kingdom within the park, basically, which he agreed to. And then as his first act of loyalty, he was told to remove the army that was gathering outside their gates. Now, the army gathering outside their gates is surrounding Epcot and is a literal army. It's the U.S. Army, complete with a number of tanks and 1,000 or so soldiers. Because, remember, if we go back to the last game, these Fae appeared in a floating city above Epcot and declared that they would be ruling what amounts to the majority of Florida. They've been considered an invading force, not surprisingly. So yeah, they've been surrounded by the U.S. military. The U.S. military is also receiving aid from a group of concerned citizens called the Iteration Collective. No mention, of course, of any other descriptive words of who they might actually be. But these concerned citizens and scientists have started constructing some prototype. They stress that these are prototypes that have definitely never been built or especially mass-produced anywhere else before, of some robots that should be able to assist in this battle against whatever these invaders are. So they're definitely, certainly, most assuredly not members of the technocracy building hit marks for the U.S. military. That would never be the case. That could possibly be going on. So Taylor's character, our noble, has been tasked by Salonia with getting rid of the army. At which point, he met back up with Doc's character and then Madman's character, who, by the way, was hiding naked in the castle because he got rid of all of his clothes to throw Jack, Doc's character, off his scent. So that was a nice awkward moment for them. They eventually get back out of the castle, where they encounter a group of vampires. A group of vampire sisters that they know very well. who basically tell them that their best bet is to leave and never come back. Because basically they're idiots. And that's basically where we left off. We did call the session a bit early. I was not feeling very well, and we had a player that had to leave a bit early anyway, so it worked out. And yeah, that's where we left it. So where that leads us to next week is we're going to see if their plan works. They've basically come up with a plan for Madman's character to incite a fight between the U.S. military and the technocracy, which, of course, will certainly end well. So we'll see what their planning goes for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little chat about the game. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell icon so that you get my updates each day. I'll be back tomorrow. Not quite sure what I'm going to talk about yet, but I'm sure I will come up with something. And I'll be back on the game stuff next Monday. Have a great day, and see you later.